Okay, we are good to go,
Are we?
as
I'm
far as
not.
I can tell.
Hold on a second. My transition thing. Oops. What the heck is going on? Something, something.
Not sure.
Hold on. Miss D is experiencing technical difficulties. One moment, please.
That does not surprise me.
Yeah, I was fine before the intro started to play. And then all of a sudden. All right, well, we'll see what happens here.
Let
Um,
me enlarge
there
the
we go. I'm
studio so
good.
I can see.
There we go. I be good. All right.
Alrighty.
So I'm mad at you.
What I do now?
We talked yesterday about ANTSs, didn't we?
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh. And
I
when
was telling you how I put out the bait traps before they
yeah,
got in.
okay, well, uh-huh. So I'm sound asleep and I had a sensation. And I opened my eyes and there on my chest was an MFN big black ant. Well, you know me, right? Normally
I'm
I'd be
sorry.
screaming, throwing the damn thing off me. Instead, I decide D, remain calm. I slapped myself so hard I hurt myself
Okay, and how is this my fault?
because we were talking about it yesterday and it was like a premonition come true. I'm blaming you on this. This is your fault. If we wouldn't have been talking about ants, he wouldn't have come in the door. He overheard our conversation yesterday and said, "Hey, there's food in there. I'm going after her." Why? There's all crazy bee. I don't understand. There's all these places he could go. Why on me? That meant that he
Um,
came in under the
because they
door.
can.
He came in under the door and he had to come up onto the bed. Why couldn't he just keep on going into the other room, like to where the dog food was, the cat food was? Why me?
Uh, B Art, B, the world is your fault. According to my parents and my sister and
Yeah.
brother and
So
half the
now
kids I went
yeah,
to
this
school
is
with,
her.
yes.
Oh, yeah, you weren't involved in the conversation yesterday, Art, so you can't, you have no say in this one. This
Well, he
is
is blaming me. He
Oh,
says
he
the whole
is?
world is my fault. Yeah, it's
Oh, it
all my
is?
fault.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
It's not
He's siding with you.
Art, it's not everything's her fault, just
Oh, tell that to my
mostly.
parents and my brother and sister and my cousins and my well, my grandparents are all dead.
I'm
But you
I'm
could try
telling
telling
you,
that to every one of them.
I can't believe it. Right after we're talking about this yesterday, and boom, it was so weird. I mean, you know how little, like how I had that sensation, because I had that bug phobia thing going on, and there he is, just like sitting on me, like and I'm like, normally I would just swat them and he'd go flying across the room, and then I couldn't find him, and I was like,
Uh-huh.
no, D, you're mature, you're an adult, you can handle this. It's no big deal. If you have to, you'll be moving upstairs again like you did last summer. It's okay. And then I went whack to kill him, and I smacked myself so hard. I'm telling you, I thank goodness he wasn't on my head because my head would still be ringing.
Oh my
I'm
goodness.
telling you. So I comes the diatomaceous earth. Eric Scott, he has no idea. I just said, "Ah, moving upstairs." So I come all the ant
Uh-huh.
traps and everything. Oh my gosh. All that discussion we had about traps, the
Well, that's why I
diatomaceous.
buy these things
I know.
in bulk, and I put
Well,
them
hey,
every open inch of
I
my
know.
house
I
for a
told you.
reason.
I know. I gave you the diatomaceous earth method. So,
Yeah, and then, like, oh, those glue traps that we put out for all the little spiders and
Oh,
stuff that run
no
around, it
way.
caught a mouse. It caught a mouse. How we caught
Did
a
it
mouse on a glue
really?
trap is beyond me.
Oh,
So, they, removed the glue trap, mouse included, and put out a new one. But,
oh,
yeah, we're catching all kinds of critters. this spring.
Oh, the mice thing, that's sad because they try to rip themselves off
Yep,
of the
trap I put out for them, but it, didn't find the live trap before it found the glue trap.
yeah. Them glue traps, the only way I'll use them is if you fold them and you make them into a house so that you
Well, I
can't.
didn't even realize there was a mouse here. Otherwise, I would have put out the live trap and pulled up the glue
Right,
traps where he couldn't reach it.
right. Well, I'm just talking in general to catch any kind of
Oh,
bug.
yeah.
You know what I
Oh,
mean?
I
I
don't
I
care.
fold them into
I
little.
got gloves.
I ain't looking at that crap. I'll have nightmares.
Uh,
And then,
that's me with the eight-legged spawns of Satan.
uh-huh, yeah,
Any other one I can live with.
yeah. So wait
Centipedes,
till yeah,
millipedes, all those things, all the beetles
yeah.
and stuff, I don't mind them. It's just the eight-legged spawns of Satan I can't stand.
Just wait till you start catching those and you see them live. See
Oh,
them,
no, 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 somebody else could take those ones out.
you chicken.
You if only you'd been in the voice chat with me, I think it was, Dink and a couple other people, and a spider was crawling on my wall, and I freaked the F out. You wanna hear a funny story? Ask Dink how that went. Ask him how it went.
Probably
Holy
about as good as
shit.
you remember.
No, they were laughing. I was screaming and hollering
I
for my
know.
kids to come get it, and they're like, "But where'd it go?" I'm like, "I don't fucking know." I mean, I could see this thing on the wall on the other side of the room. It was that big. I
I
could see it on the other side of the room, on the
I
wall.
can't I can't see for shit, but I could spot a bug anywhere. The teeniest, tiniest of things. Remember last year when I slept upstairs, I came
Uh-huh.
downstairs. Eric was going to make me a belt with holsters on it. I came down with 2 bottles of bleach spray. Remember? And I
Uh-huh.
on and I just start spraying everywhere. Remember, they were in the refrigerator, they were on the wall. It was fine. Everything was fine and hunky dory. Like he didn't believe me how crazy the ants were
Oh,
until
yeah.
remember the one fell on his
Yep.
head when he was in the
And then
recliner,
he's like,
and
"Where'd
then
that
he's like,
come from?"
"Yep," and then all hell broke loose, and we were like going crazy. But that's
Yep.
because
Oh,
I think these damn apple trees are out front in my bedroom, and I hate to
yep.
cut them down, but oh, I might.
Well, I wanna tell Art, I use the borax little
Little
tablet
tap.
things, the little white pill looking things. We
Yeah,
put those everywhere. We put the ant traps everywhere. We put glue traps everywhere. We put diatomaceous earth
earth
everywhere.
everywhere. Yep,
Literally, at my house, I don't know how anything with more than 2 or 4 legs can
could
get through it.
survive. Yep. If they were big enough, they'd catch a human. The
Thank you, JJ.
diatomaceous, yeah. Hi JJ. The diatomaceous earth is awesome. The only thing I
Yes.
don't like about it is, if you put it outside and it rains, you have to repeatedly replace it. But
And that's why I can't do it quite yet because 'cause we're still in tornado
right,
season, and
right.
actually, we're in for storms tonight and tomorrow, so
Oh,
according to the
speaking
weather.
yeah, and speaking of that, I don't know what'll happen. I need a little bit of prayers for tomorrow. We're getting those injections. And I told Crazy, so I will not be around at all tomorrow. And I told Crazy B to plan on my not being here Thursday, just because I don't know what type of condition I'm going to be in. So I'd rather her be prepared in advance than me try to call her at the last minute saying I'm not available. So if I show up on Thursday, lucky you guys. If I don't, lucky you guys. So that's the game plan for tomorrow and Thursday. Well, tomorrow's okay because tomorrow's questions that need answers. So that'll work. And you're are you finishing up the children piece tomorrow, Crazy B?
Yes, I am.
Okay, that's an awesome series. If nobody has watched that, I'd recommend that you go back. It's fascinating what the United States or yeah, what we did to juveniles.
Yes. If you haven't watched it, it's on Questions That Need Answers.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I believe I have it in the description. I believe I have that channel, the channel links in the description. If not, I'll put them in eventually.
Yeah,
But questions that need answers. I'm covering juvenile executions, and
that's
the two
crazy,
youngest ones are the primary focus.
right?
And yeah, it is messed up
It's really
what
messed
we've done
up.
to our kids. But
Uh-huh.
then again, what have we done to our kids that led them to doing this, if there's even a reason for it? And where did we go wrong teaching them not to do this kind of shit?
But it blows my mind that you would hang a child. I mean, it's bad enough to see an adult being hung. Thank you, Art. I appreciate that. Uh, to hang a child,
Mm.
like a 10-year-old, a 13 year
Oh,
old.
no, no,
I,
that one was hung. Some have been electrocuted.
right. That's even,
Old
that gets,
Sparky
yeah,
has seen more than one child. Well, and there's more than one old Sparky, by the way. But yes.
yep. It's kind of crazy.
Well, I mean, it's still better than what the Romans did by throwing them off a cliff if they were a defective baby. But, just,
Mm,
or was that the Greeks?
I don't
I
remember,
think it
but if you
was,
were a
might have been
baby and
both.
just tossed off, I think that would be better than being 10 and hung off of a tree or something.
How many children have been beheaded over the years or burnt at
Or,
the
yeah,
stake for
look at the,
being accused of a
yeah,
witch, drowned for
well,
being accused of a witch? I mean, we could really.
go into that. Look at the Mayans, what they did to children.
Uh, well, there isn't too many religions free of that guilt,
I know.
except Christians took it out on goats and lambs. Um,
Right, that's true.
well, old school in the before Jesus's time, because well, again, and I was curious about that at one point. I was wondering if the Islamic and Jewish cultures still do animal sacrifice, and some of them do.
Really?
Yes, some still do. I found that out a few years ago when I asked a butcher.
Well, I guess they die one way or another, so
Yeah, it was an Islamic butcher. He was,
I
oh no, he was, yeah, he practiced Islam, and yeah, really nice guy, very open
I
and
mean,
honest about it.
how is that any different than us just hurting our cattle or other animals and smacking them
Well, it
over?
was actually for a reason,
Right.
sacrificial
That's what I'm
reasoning.
saying.
It's
Yeah.
different, but even in the Mayans culture, and now this is, oh my god, here we are going into religion again and off topic, but just quickly, even in the Mayan culture, it was to appease the gods,
Mhm.
and they were so in belief of their gods needed a blood sacrifice like that, that they would do it.
And the people believed that too. It just
Well,
wasn't that.
Abraham in the
Yeah.
Bible was about to
Right.
sacrifice his son until an
Right.
angel stopped him.
Right.
But I'd still have a lot of questions, like, so if you're telling me the guy I spoke to a few minutes ago was just joking, he's either got a bad sense of humor or I really wanna know if I'm talking to actual God
Right.
at that point. I
Right.
mean, like, who tells you to sacrifice your kid and just as you're about to punch the knife, an angel shows up and says, "Ha, April Fools."
Maybe
Like,
it
what
was
kind of
April
God
1st.
is that?
We don't know a date yet, so it could have been April 1st. Who knows?
I don't know, I'm just using it as
I know.
satirical,
I know.
for a
Reference.
reason. Like, it's like, "Oh, boy." So, yeah, we could have fun with religion.
That would
There
be
have been some rather odd practices by everybody all over the world in times current. Don't
yeah.
get me started on some of those, what were they? The comet cults, the, Heaven's Gate group in the
Mhm.
'90s. And then there was the, Jim Jones,
Yep.
and my son makes jokes about Kool-Aid all the time since he has learned about that, and actually, he suggested I
I
use that
mean,
Kool-Aid for my daughter's
even
graduation. I about smacked him.
even things like, oh, I hate to go dark, but like voodoo and all those
Well,
practices and
voodoo, no, hold on, no, the thing is voodoo, not all of it is bad. There's white
I
voodoo and
know.
dark voodoo.
Right.
There is it's a combination of African religion mixed with Catholicism. It is a blended cultural thing. There's a lot, I mean, this would be an entire month-long
You know
conversation if we
what?
were to
That would
break down
be
every religion.
so what do you think about that for questions that need answers.
I think it's a great topic. I've just been trying to find enough on it, and I need people to help tell me whether I'm right or wrong. Like,
Well,
if I found something wrong, or I'm inaccurate, or I remember something wrong, I'd prefer to have somebody there to help correct me.
I think they would. I think who's ever in the chat would, or whoever
There
listened
are
to
still
the
some groups, but not entire countries, thank goodness. Yep.
Mhm. I think that you would get it in the comments, Crazy B,
I
if
would hope
they
so,
are.
because that is a conversation like you
Uh,
would not believe. And like I mean, I could sit here and do some educational coverage with people about the different pros and cons of the religions,
mm,
and the good and bad teachings from them, or whatever some are saying is wrong, some are saying is right. Just provide it. Like, God, that literally one religion a day,
that's
2
what I
days a
was
week.
thinking. Yep.
God, there's a
Here we go.
year's worth of
Yep.
there's a
But
year's worth of content.
so
Yeah,
does
I
that
can
mean we
probably start
did
pulling that together.
yeah, does that mean we do us let us pray and
No,
we're
I'm
ready
not
to
gonna make
begin
us
our
do that,
session?
unless until we cover Catholicism, then
Okay.
yeah.
Well,
But
I'll
and
say
I'm
that.
gonna you know what I could also do is go into not only the religions, but how they've been persecuted by other cultures and religions over the years too. So
Oh
everyone
yeah.
can see not
But
one religion has been persecuted
right.
alone. All of them have at some point.
And some of them
Ex-
still are.
Yeah,
Yep.
Buddhist,
Yep. Look in China.
the Uyghurs,
The
yep.
Uyghurs, yep.
But
Couple of
that one I know will get me in trouble on YouTube. I've got to do that one very carefully.
carefully. Yeah.
And
Yep.
all offshoots. Oh my God, don't get me started on the offshoots, because the Seventh Day Adventists have like 100 offshoots,
Yep.
and holy shit, that one will hurt my head.
Mm.
I don't think I could complete that one in an episode, because thanks to the Seventh Day
What's
Adventists, we ended up with the Branch Davidians in Waco. Not that it
what
was
was
their
the one
fault the
what
ATF did what they did.
yeah, what's the one that Tom Cruise and all them belong to?
Scientology, oh my
Thank you.
God, I might
Yeah,
not be
that's
able to cover
another
that
one.
one without getting in trouble.
Uh-huh.
So that's something for a down the road thing.
There you go.
But we probably should get started on our
All
well,
right.
you have a new
And
topic for today,
all
a
right.
current topic,
And
and
as
then we can
usual, I'm
jump into
eating.
the crazy bitch.
I'm sorry I'm eating, but I
Oh,
can't
that's
help it.
fine.
I'll
I'll do what I
try to
can for reading wise.
well, I
Let me
can
make
read.
sure I pull up.
Just let me know. And you know what? When you do pull up an article, would you please zoom?
I've already zoomed in on this one, and it was the
Oh.
first one you sent for the new topic. That's
Oh,
why I
go
was
ahead.
pulling it up, and I
Go
said
ahead.
I could read it, but if you want
No,
to, go
I'll read
ahead.
it. Go ahead.
All right,
Can you
it's
zoom
up.
it a little bigger?
Yes, I can.
Okay, guess what, guys? This
Oops, hold on.
oh,
Wrong one. I zoomed the wrong tab. Is that better?
that's better. Thank you. This just in. Walmart announces that they'll be expanding support for American-made products per Axios. This is the way, says Nick Satoros. Meanwhile,
Satoro.
Satoro, I thought he
Yep.
had a S. I apologize, Nick.
No,
Meanwhile,
you had it right.
Amazon is doubling down on sleeping with China. Walmart says their goal is to make it easier for US based entrepreneurs to navigate the complexities of retail and bring their products to a national stage. We anticipate thousands of small businesses.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Go
That's
ahead.
okay. We anticipate thousands of small businesses will take advantage of these free resources over the coming years, John Furner, Walmart US president and CEO, told Axios. So that's good news that Walmart is going to work with some small businesses. You know, the best place I think that they could go to, yeah, now I can't remember the name of it. Sugar bucket
I
balls.
well,
Go
I
ahead.
like the mom and pop shops here in my small little town.
Yes. I'm thinking, what's the online shop that does all the specialty items? I had it on the top of my head, and then it just
Well, there's a couple of them that do that. You can eBay does a lot of specialty items.
Etsy.
Then there's the
Yeah, Etsy.
Etsy.
That's what I just looked up. Etsy.
Etsy is
Anybody,
another
yeah,
good one if you
anybody,
wanna
yeah,
get decent.
yeah. Anybody that's
And
on
belie
Etsy
oh, I
that,
was gonna
go ahead.
oh, go ahead.
No, go
Sorry.
ahead.
Well, I was gonna say another online shop that surprisingly does a lot of support for small companies in America is the TikTok shop.
I saw an ad for them. I didn't know that they sold products on
My
TikTok.
daughter has bought in a few products from there. He handmade soaps and shampoo and conditioner.
Hmm. So they have there's I could see like a Wayfair, ThreadUp, Etsy, eBay, Poshmark. There's a lot,
Wayfair does a lot of foreign too, but you get at least a pick.
right? Uh,
Yeah.
so there's some options there.
Mhm.
That
Oh, and Facebook Marketplace.
right that if there's opportunity, I would say go for it. 'Cause I mean, there's a lot of options for people that's small business that if Walmart's truly interested, I mean, I don't know why they couldn't do not only national, but heck, they could go as low as regional, for specific groups. I think this would be a good opportunity, and with everything that we've been talking about with Economic Week and the tariffs and all of that, I think this is kind of good news.
Well, and the one thing I will also point out is on Amazon, there is American-made and local products and small
Yes,
business
yes,
that
you
you can
have to
pick
look
from.
for it. You have to scroll down to probably about the middle of the page. It'll
And
tell.
that is something I have a tendency to do when I'm looking for something. I will go to where it's a small shop thing and they
Right.
only have 1 or 2 items left, I'll grab it.
Yep. Look for small
Mhm,
business, and it'll have a little house symbol next to it. Uh,
mhm.
and that's one way to support it. But Amazon, as far as Amazon goes, I think they're in bed for a while. I think they're still under the covers, so that's my personal thing with them.
Yeah, but
But
you
we'll
gotta this is why I like again, I live in a small town. Like I've said before, the county has 20,000 people, the entire county.
hmm.
So, we have the little boutique shops and the little things here in town. Hell, we have 2 really good Mexican restaurants run by actual Mexicans. And I mean this not in the bad way, but not like your Chinese restaurant run by Mexicans, but
Right,
actual authentic Mexican food, not Taco Bell food.
right.
And holy shit, the difference in
Well,
handmade flour or corn tortillas versus the shit you buy in the store or the Taco Bell tortillas.
right,
Big difference. I haven't had authentic Mexican food in like 20 years, 30 years. And to have it, I'm like, I was dying. I'm like, oh my God, I went to heaven. This is the best. It's got the perfect amount of seasoning. It's not overkill. It's not underkill. It is mm, perfect spice too. Sorry.
alrighty. We're glad you're happy.
Yep. I'm sorry. There's really good restaurants in my area, and it's just,
Well,
hard to come by
what's funny
sometimes.
is look at how we were looking for electronics yesterday.
Yeah.
What I had in my area available, you did not. And I'm like, crazy bee, scroll down and look at this. And you're like, D, it's not there. And
Look
I'm
at
like, what
what?
do you mean it's not there? I'm looking at it. It's right here. She's like,
I
no, it's
don't
not.
see what you see.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Yep.
And the other thing I also do is when I'm buying electronics, because again, a lot of electronics come out of China,
Mm,
but we have local stores that sell some as well. And Amazon. So like when I'm looking to replace a keyboard or something, I'll look for the small business stuff in Amazon, but sometimes I'll just, swing through the stores in town and see what they got.
right.
Because we have a couple little electronic shops here. We used to have an RCA store. Those actually exist. Or no, it was Radio Shack. It was
Mm-hmm.
Radio Shack. We had a Radio Shack 20 something years ago and then it finally closed down. But yeah, we had one of the
Cool.
last Radio Shacks in
Yeah,
my
I
state.
still have my Radio Shack computers, I told you. And the city that I worked for, that was the very first computer that was brought in was a Radio Shack.
Yep.
That's how we tracked. Public
You
Works.
know those could probably go for a hefty price to a museum.
I know they could. I still have the disc. I'd be curious to. I'm sure they still work.
Oh,
I'd
yeah, they
be
still work because 'cause they're
very
not
curious to see
internet-based.
what I have on the discs and everything. I probably have asphalt still on there and nails and all kind of stuff from Public Works and then stuff from police. I'll tell you, it'd be very
Uh-huh.
interesting to go back and look at what's on all that old computer stuff.
It could go to local
Mm-hmm.
historical museum for a pretty
All right.
price.
I appreciate
Alright,
that.
next,
Next up, corrupt
um,
politicians.
we are covering
Oh, our
Ms.
girl. Is this our girl?
Jasmine Crocket
Uh-oh, this is
first.
our girl.
She's been in office since 2023.
Really?
She was
Only
born in
2 years.
'81, so she's only 2 years older than me. She's in Texas. There's her little district. Now, here's the thing.
Wait, back up.
Activities
What
by
part
Ms.
of
Crockett.
Texas? Back up. What part of Texas is she responsible for? Or
Um,
is she?
I
Can you zoom in
don't
on that map at all?
She's near Dallas. She
She
covers
is?
part of
Okay.
Dallas and the surrounding areas.
Gotcha.
I had
That's
to
what
look
I,
through the lines to see the
thank you.
names.
That's what I was looking for.
Yep. Now, here's the thing. She has sponsored 31 pieces of legislation, co-sponsored 728, remarks on congressional record 41. So between 2023 and 2024, she did 118, um, or 119, but they have different numbers over here. What does that mean? I
Hmm.
don't know. But the thing is, when you look at most of these, they've all been introduced. I'm not going to scroll through all however many hundred.
Are
These
these
are ones
one that
where
are these the ones she did or that she co-sponsored with someone?
a combination of both. These
I
are
see.
all.
Do you see anything worthwhile?
Let's take a look. Let's start back at one. Um, she has to require the Bureau of Census to collect information on deaf, blind individuals and for other purposes. I thought they did that anyways.
Hmm. Obviously,
Could
they
have
must.
swore.
She's asking for it.
Tax Cut for Workers Act of 2025. To amend the Internal Revenue Code of 1986 to establish a refundable child tax credit with monthly advance payments.
Oh.
I don't know how that would work. VA funding for Workforce Protection Act. Not a bad one. Remote Access Security Act. I
Oh.
hope that's to shut it down. It's part of the foreign affairs, but you know that that's not actually used
Uh-huh.
on foreign
Right.
agencies and countries. It's all of us. Um, One of the problems in a small community is that you have to get almost everything online. Oh, he's talking about with the shipping stuff. Yep, from 3 minutes ago. I just noticed it. Um,
Oh, I'll tell you,
the
it depends on how big the city is, but our big city has gone to hell and there's not much left. The
There
down
isn't down here either. I'm almost
Yep,
solely purchasing online if I need a
yeah.
good price.
The downtown area, I mean, there's obviously fast food types of things. Some like a Target, Burlington, but
Mhm.
the hubbub that it used to be, it's gone. I mean, it's decimated. I told you, we were there a couple weeks ago, and the homeless that, just run down the street in tents is just, it's unbelievable. I can't believe this is the big city. Yeah, whatever. Shut up. Just go ahead. Keep going. I'll be on a
Um,
tangent.
I know. She wants, the Community First Act. DART Act of 2025. I don't know what that is. What is the DART Act? Let's take a look. DART Act. Summary in progress. Text. Holy shit. No. That's a lot to go through. We could listen to it possibly.
Just give up.
To
What's
amend the Omnibus Crime Control and Safe Streets Act. Really? Let's go back
yeah?
and
Just
back one
you don't have
more.
to read
But
everyone. Just
this
anything.
website, here's the thing is this website is where you go to read the bills that the morons are trying to push on you.
Right.
To amend higher education,
Wait.
firearms
Wait. Back that up.
licensing
To use funds for what?
for grants to strengthen historically black colleges and universities and for other
Oh,
purposes.
of course.
Yeah. Federal Firearm Licensing Act. I've The only people who are really allowed to have a federal level firearms licensing are the gun shops and the marshals. So I'm not sure which ones. The Reentry Act. I have a feeling that has to do with immigration.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's energy and commerce. Um, Protect America's workforce. Wasn't that similar to the? Anyways, abortion care awareness. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Transgender Healthcare Access
Or.
Act.
Mm-hmm.
Heating and Cooling Relief Act. This
Oh,
all
yeah. Pull that one up and send that to me. Bergfeld might need to know about that.
okay.
No, I already know about it. You don't have to. I'll tell
Oh,
you what, if you had any idea, if you need refrigerant in your air conditioner, oh baby, baby, are you going to pay out the butt? Biden he
mhm.
slid through some legislation that is, wow, for the Green New Deal. Refrigerant is out of the roof. What used to cost $200 a bottle is now almost up to $1,500.
Shit.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy.
Oh, wait, that might have a lot to do with all these Green New Deal shit things.
Exactly. Uh-huh. That's what Biden did before he left. He got that legislation passed for that. Yep.
Yep, she's a co-sponsor on this.
Yep.
Oh, Raise the Age Act.
I
For
sent you
what?
to a link
Raise
about
the age
freeze
for what?
dryers.
Okay.
Raise the age for what?
Okay, let's take a look. She's a co-sponsor.
What?
Summaries in progress. So let's jump to the text. Firearms licensing to sell and deliver to people, including shotguns to a person. Center rifle, semi-automatic center fire shotguns. Really, really.
She wants them to be what, 21?
Here's the thing about a center fire rifle. Okay, that's what I have. It's not a double barrel; it's a single barrel, and it's a single shot. And she wants to restrict buying those. Oh, look at all the people on this. These are all the co-signers and signers.
They all
The
have to be Democrats.
Mom, why do the Democrats petition me to pay the money for campaigns and stuff, but they get that money anyway from
Oh, and
taxes?
Arby just adds in all ammunition are center fire. Yeah, that's right. The striker and the prime and this striker, the firing pin. On some guns, it's a firing pin. On some, it's that little strike thingy. Like on my Sky 9mm, it doesn't actually have a firing pin. It has a little striker thing that hits it and causes the mini explosion to go boom, and the bullet goes flying out. Um, so yeah, we're already there, and they want to raise the age on this. And again, it's more restriction, but it says to purchasing the guns.
Is it given age? Yeah,
Oh no, it's
21.
yeah, it says it wants 21. It's the license from selling or delivering certain semi-automatic centerfire rifles, semi-automatic centerfire shotguns. That's all the fucking guns out there. That's every single gun out there right now, if I'm not mistaken, unless it's an antique or I'm missing something.
And all of them are Democrats. I
Yeah, but the
guarantee you.
thing is though 90 what was it? Like a large majority of gun crimes are committed with handguns.
Right? Right.
So, how's this make sense? They just want to age raise it to from 18 to 21, but these are the ages when kids are going hunting with their dads. They buy their first shotguns or rifles at that age.
Scroll up,
I
please,
mean,
Crazy Bee, so I can see the rest of the
oh,
no, no, the rest of the reps. Slow down.
oh here.
Yeah, AOC's in there. Let me see if my. Well, that's interesting. My dippity doo person isn't in there.
Swalwell is in there.
Hmm.
Maxine Waters
Of
is in
course.
there. Waters. Sorry. I say Waters, but it's mostly out of disrespect. Um
Hmm.
yeah, I don't see the usual. Where's Schumer?
Well,
I don't see Schumer.
he's. This is the
Oh.
reps, isn't
Oh,
it?
this is representatives, not Senate.
Right.
Sorry, my bad. Oh, there's Miss Crockett.
Uh huh. Goldman. That's
Yep.
Goldman from New York. Yep, they're all there.
Mm-hmm.
You know the
Couple
my
of dingbats from Texas.
Yeah, my problem is, I have all that Dems in my state. That's why I need to move.
Yep.
Not like I can make a phone call and say, "Oh, I'm against this bill." They're like, "Yeah, right."
Well, and that's even what I've said. I could sit there and email my senators and my representatives, but I can
They
send them a
work.
letter. It's
Yeah,
not going to work. And Crazy
right.
Bee's right. The vast majority of the pew pew crimes is with handheld devices.
Yeah.
I didn't edit it.
And if we didn't say hello, RB, hello.
Oh yeah, hi RB. Sorry. But yeah, this is what they're trying to do. Um let's go to the
So,
next
so
one.
again, as Crazy B said, this is a very disturbing website. If you start to look at the bills that they put forth, some are stupid as all heck. Uh,
But this one I can support. To authorize the president to award the Medal of Honor to Doris Miller posthumously for acts of valor while a member of the Navy during World War II.
right.
I can support that.
And
And
that
by the
should
way,
be an
don't
automatic.
assume Doris is female because I've known many older male patients with what would have been considered a feminine name.
Well, there's no reason.
It would be nice if YouTube would tell you what
Yeah,
it's trying to censor and I didn't have to play a guessing game.
yeah.
Yes.
Be nice if we had a list.
Yep. But I can actually see this one
Right.
for a Navy during World War II valor. I totally see that one working. Economic opportunities for distressed communities. You want a distressed community? Come see how farmers have to live.
Mm-hmm.
Come see how farmers have to live. You want to see a distressed community? Oh my lord. Feed
A
the hungry
hungry,
veterans.
yeah,
Don't we have
a
that
VA.
already in place?
We have a VA, so I don't know why that's not occurring.
Oh, and Doris was a man's name according to Google AI. Yep. Many names have been swapped back and forth. And I've brought it up before. A patient who had the same name as her husband because her mother was so sure she was going to have a son, she
Well,
just gave her that name anyways.
that's why I had to put Miss in front of my name because everybody kept thinking I was a guy because I have this deep
Uh,
voice from no thyroid. So,
oh, I like what JJ had to say. All crimes are committed by criminals. What's the definition of handheld? Crowbar, knives, scissors, hammer, 4 by 4. Yep, good chunk of wood. That'll do it.
Hey, we
Uh,
showed you we
yeah.
showed you that video yesterday with the woman that was at the police department that said he died of
Mhm.
poisoning, but they wanted
Oh,
to
yeah, but he
right?
wouldn't take it. That was a joke, not seriously. Oh my god.
I'll bet you somebody
Half
somewhere has tried that.
half the problem is they
Yep.
will call something the Inflation Reduction Act, and when they shove a bunch of BS in it, it's because that's called Feed the Hungry Veterans Act doesn't mean it's actually that.
Yeah,
That's
you have
true.
that's right. You have to read exactly.
We could go in and read it and see what really is in
Yeah.
it, but it might take a while.
Well, just I mean, if you just get the uh
Well,
summary,
here's the thing. There is no summary. The summary is in progress.
right, but there should be the beginning of the text that we could get, the
Well,
gist of.
no, that's going to amend the food and nutrition. You're not gonna find it until you get down lower.
Yeah,
Um, oh, no, that's all
that's
there is
it.
to it. For
Oh, they
once.
just wanna hold on,
Oh,
go down. Uh 65. Okay, scroll down. Oh, there's nothing left there. Hmm.
yeah.
So they want to
Mhm.
strike the word F or to
No, no,
and.
no, no, the
No,
original
I
F
know,
in the
I know,
original amendment.
I know
Okay.
that, dear. Okay.
They're taking out the word "or," so
Right.
F is automatically included.
Yes, dear. Are we gonna
Okay. Well, I'm
start this?
explaining for people who may not be able to
Okay.
see it as well.
Good. I just didn't want to have another issue like we did yesterday.
Yeah, no, I'm not trying to correct you, I'm making sure the audience
Thank,
understands because some
thank
might not be
you,
looking at the screen.
thank you, dear. Just checking.
Alright. But for once, there is a bill that's literally just the bill,
Right.
and they just wanna reword it from "or" to and add a few extra little things. Law
But
enforcement innovative
but what I'd want to see is exactly what the text is, because or and have two different meanings. So if
well,
it's
no, it wouldn't have been part of and hold on, I believe I can access the original bill. Um, well, we could just look it up, HR 2195. Oh, no, that's what this one is. It's, this bill right here is where the original one is, and then we go to section F. Um, where's section F? B, C, A, D, E.
yeah, uh-huh.
Um, yeah, okay, you'd have to go through and actually find
Right,
the exact part. I didn't look at the
right.
exact part before jumping here.
Yeah,
So,
I'm just saying
and
I'd want to sometimes when they do stuff like that and they co-join it with the word and uh
mhm. Oh, there it is. It's in one sentence in section 6D
right,
2 hyphen A
right.
is what they want to change.
Right. But
Yeah,
when all I'm
okay.
saying is when what I'm suggesting is when they're make going to make changes like that, you're going to want to go in and read what was it before when it said or, and then when they want to change it to and, that makes a difference in that they're co-joining two things like, you know, uh I can't walk and talk at the same time, right? It used to be maybe I can't, talk or walk. And
Yeah.
then it gets changed to and. But a lot of times this stuff happens like in social security situations, in VA situations. You don't know what the attempt is that they're trying to do. And all I'm suggesting is go read the text. That's all.
Yeah, and again, this is where Congress gets you. And again, they're just taking out the word "or" so that whatever's an F is automatically added in. There is no "or." It's just going to be part of, like, so instead of saying this or that, it's this, that, and then whatever else it goes with it by removing or at least. We'll see. I can always dig into it much deeper, but honestly, I've already got enough. So, then there's the, let's see, Protect Our Watchdogs Act.
Oh, that's
Oh,
interesting.
yep.
What?
Preventing illegal weapons trafficking. Well, talk to the ATF first. If you want to stop illegal weapons trafficking, they're the number one problem.
Crazy bee, I'm sorry, but protect our watchdogs?
Uh
Seriously?
huh.
Okay.
Let's take a look. Forget the summary. Um, it's to amend Chapter 4 of Title 5 in the United States for cause removal standard for inspector generals and for other purposes. Um, wait, hold
Yeah,
on. Be it an it will this act may be cited to protect our watchdogs for cause removal standard of inspector generals. They want to by striking remove or transfer and insert removal or transfer. It's the same.
I mean, well, look at
Wait,
that.
they want to strike one and put in an removal. I don't know. This makes no sense.
But what does it? I want to. What does that have to do with the dogs? Oh,
Oh, it's not actual
general.
dogs.
The
It's a
inspector general is the watchdog. Duh,
yes.
duh.
That's what I'm like. It doesn't have to mean with actual dogs.
That's why I wanted to look at it. I thought it was real live dogs.
Oh, they want to take transferred and turn it into all bold. And if
Yeah, yeah. If and or D didn't know.
they had to put
Thought
in a
it was
law to turn it into all caps.
right, because that's who let the dogs out, right? Okay. Uh,
Stop weapons trafficking is called enforcing the existing laws. You don't need a new one. Yes. I totally agree. And if you really want to stop weapons trafficking, tighten down the ATF and tell them to quit being dumbasses and trying to entrap cartel members and straw purchasers.
Wait, caring for survivor. Okay, just that's veterans. Okay, keep going.
Yep. The surviving family members of a veteran who was killed. Access to Family Building Act. What? To require congressional approval before sale, disposal, declaration of excess or surplus, transfer, or conveyance of federal property with historical significance and other purposes, with the exception of all the statues that are from the South and support the Confederacy, or at least give some history of the Confederacy.
How
But then
about
no,
how
those
about
can all go.
does all the remaining like the wall that didn't get built in the beginning, all the steel and all of that to build the wall?
Oh, you know what? That's funny that Biden did that
Uh huh.
just before he left office.
Huh? And he got pennies on the dollar.
Yeah.
Could that? Yeah. Okay. All right.
I think this was more to stop Trump from selling the buildings,
Right.
and all our surplus is pretty much gone. It went to Ukraine.
Hmm.
Um, so you know, I don't know. This is this what property
Here's
are these talking about selling that has historical significance?
and here's what kills me is so there was Crockett, then this figures from Alabama, and then
Mhm.
there's 11 other co-sponsors. Please tell me that 13 people didn't work on one bill.
Oh, hold on. Hold on. Let's take a look. Because none of these summaries are available. Let's take a look who's involved. Oh, it doesn't list them. Oh, wait, there they are. Nope. None
Figures
of the
and
co-sponsors are listed.
yeah, that's interesting. Okay.
Interesting. See, this is why it's so important to double check Medical, Dental, and Vision and Hearing Benefits Act. Um, Again, that depends. Stop Comstock. What the hell is Comstock?
I've heard that before, but I don't remember what that is.
I'm going to do a quick Google. Give me 1 second, folks.
Comstock.
Comstock refers to several different things, including federal law and historical figures, a model of the U.S. commercial building stock and real estate company.
Mm, that doesn't sound like it.
That act goes all the way back to 1873.
Wow.
Comstock Act is a series of current provisions of federal law that generally criminalizes the involvement of the United States Postal Service from or a common carrier in conveying obscene matters, crime inciting matters, or a certain abortion related matters.
What?
Holy shit!
Oh,
Wikipedia is the only place I could get this right now. Um, it's anti-vice activist attorney Anthony Comstock. So he was a postal inspector who was also an activist,
wow.
and they basically said that's a no-no.
Look, and they got they have 123 co-sponsors.
Yeah,
So,
and as I'm opening these links, by the way, I'm leaving them up so I can drop them in the description for you guys.
oh,
It's going to be a long description, and we haven't even gotten to the videos that we're talking out of our ass.
no, we apologize. We're just fascinated. So we hope you're along for the ride.
Mamas and Babies in Undeserved Communities Act? Really?
Maxine
Mamas and
Waters. Oh
babies. You
yeah,
gotta
baby.
write it as a ghetto way?
Yeah,
Like
mama.
proper English.
It couldn't be mothers.
Oh.
Oh my.
Mothers and children.
Uh-huh.
And by the way, isn't mamas offensive? Isn't it supposed to be birthing parents and babies?
I think
Or
so. I'm
birth
offended. I'm offended. Sounds racist to me.
Oh
Sounds
my
racist.
god. You know, she went from being an activist during the O.J. Simpson time to doing this.
I know. Well, you know what?
Oh.
In my opinion, Jasmine is a junior Maxine Waters.
Oh yeah, easily.
She's her daughter. Like she could be her daughter.
Higher Credit Act. I wonder if it's misspelled. Sorry, I shouldn't be doing this. To amend the Internal Revenue Code to allow work opportunity tax credits for hiring displaced disaster victims. Okay, you know, that's not
That's
actually a
a good
bad
one.
thing.
That's a good one.
That's actually a good one. I can support her doing
Mm-hmm.
as long as that's all that's in here. Let's check the bill. I'm seeing nothing that says otherwise. Oh, no, it's a very short, sweet, to the point bill. No extra nonsense.
And that's what
Okay,
they
as much as I'm
and
making fun of her on this
right,
one, I can actually support it. See, this is where I mean you actually got to go in and look at this stuff. Now, again, this is not the final one. This
correct,
is not done.
just what was introduced.
This is what's been introduced. It
See, like
could change. You have
yeah,
to keep an eye on this shit.
click on the next tab and you'll see the actions that had been taken on it. Uh,
As of right now, it's only been introduced
okay.
right here.
Well, it said there were two actions.
Yeah,
Yeah, so it
it was
was
referred by the
referred
House
and then
committee
introduced. There you go.
and then introduced on the same
So,
day. Yep.
uh, so this is what should happen is all these bills should come down as single item bills to be passed. Whoever is the uh, sponsor, co-sponsors, they need to get up there and say their piece about the bill. This bull crap where we get, 3,000, 5,000 pages of garbage, and in there's, save the pink spotted spider.
Those are usually the omnibus bills,
Oh,
for the,
but
funding, and the COVID bill was that bad.
right. But there's
And I've
been,
seen some. Yeah. Oh, I was gonna
yeah,
say I've seen some
yeah,
that we don't know about.
right. So I think they all should come down in this format.
And do not attach anything to it.
Correct. Don't add any extra
Mhm.
to it.
Just don't. Make my life easier.
Yep.
Please.
Okay. And then let's get it done. That was introduced the beginning of May. March. What's the holdup? We're going into May already.
Yeah, but they're still got older ones that they need to get through
Yeah, I
first.
know that, but they need to get a move on it. They've been doing,
Yep. I wanna see what this Merit Act is really quick that she's a co-sponsor for. I believe she's a co-sponsor. Yeah, because it was the sponsor, and then she's a co-sponsor. Let's look at this. What is Merit Act? Oh wow,
oh,
there's quite a few. Okay.
Presley's in there. Oh,
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 sorry. Yeah,
yeah. Oh, Scallion's in there. Oh, oh, not good.
Ms. Dean of Pennsylvania. Well, it
Jayapal's
doesn't
in
mean
there.
it's
What?
not good. Let's see what it is.
Yeah,
Let's see what they have to
Jayapal
say.
Waters. Ugh.
I know, I know. So this act may be cited as model employee reinstatement or for ill-advised termination act or merit act. Each
Each
affected
affected.
probationary employee other than an affected probationary employee entitled to payment under subsection B is entitled in accordance with this act to an appointment to a position in their former employing agency, such as affected by a probationary employees that is the same or similar to previously federal. Oh, so they're trying to bring back all the people Elon
Exactly.
fired.
Yep, they want to
Some of
reinstate them.
them, there was one I was watching a video on. She was one of 3 EMS workers and a greeter and educator at a national park. She got
Right.
fired
Hmm.
because they said it wasn't needed. But 3 employees for an entire national park, and I can't remember which one it was. I think it was over by Wyoming. It wasn't Yellowstone. No, it was Yellowstone or something like that. It was something like Yellowstone. It was one of the bigger national parks. And she got fired for they absolute no reason other than they claimed that she wasn't needed.
Well, that's justifiable.
They have 3 EMS workers that she also does search and rescue. She was doing other things other than just greeting people and educating them in the little visitor
Well,
centers.
when somebody gets stuck up on a mountain, they'll be calling her. I'm sorry. What they went through and somebody decided she wasn't needed. There could have
Or
been,
somebody decided to rashly, like they did those nuclear workers that they got rid of and then had to hire back because,
right?
oh shit. But
They
how many people
got,
could get hurt in the meantime that could have been saved?
well, when you go to a
Uh,
park, isn't it at your own risk these days?
Well, wouldn't you prefer an EMS to be close by instead of having to be drove in?
Yeah. But again,
I'm
somebody,
not saying everyone needs to
I
be
know.
second looked at, but there are some that really should have been more consideration in it.
Well, then there's, who makes the decision ultimately? Everybody's going to vie for consideration. That's the problem when you go to do mass layoffs.
I
Everybody,
know.
everybody's going to say, and yes, Crazy B, I'm not saying I disagree with you. That seems like it's extremely important, but somewhere, somehow, cuts had to be made, and every department was told 10%, 15%, and
And
they
I
and
think she
public,
was newer to this. She
and
hadn't been there very long. She
right,
was at the bottom of the ladder.
right. So if you're at the bottom of the ladder, you're going to be one of the ones to go. If you're a probationary employee, you're going to be one of the ones to go. And again, it's unfortunate, but those types of decisions have to be made, and you want smaller government. So, you want the government to be smaller? Are you going to go in and pick who stays and goes? Are you going to make that determination?
Yep.
Yep. Does that mean, is that a yes? You're
No,
going to,
I mean, I'm agreeing with you.
okay.
Somebody has to make the
Right.
determination, but it should be people who know what this person's doing. Again, I get it. They told the heads of the departments to try and
And
mitigate some of the
remember,
bad
right.
choices.
And remember, you're hearing her side of the story. You
Yeah.
haven't, right. So we haven't heard what management has to say about it. And it could be they made a mistake and she needs to be brought back. But there could be a very rational reason why they decided to terminate her. And
Yep.
again, if you're at the bottom of the ladder and you have, 1,000 people ahead of you and somebody's going, and it's going to be, the bottom people are going to start to fall off the ladder no
Oh,
matter the
that
position.
has happened to my dad when he was working in a factory. They had to do
Yeah,
layoffs for a
yeah.
minute, but he was hired back. It was just a layoff, and he was new to the factory. So, yep, there's a few months
Well,
on quarter pay. Good luck.
I told you after 10 years they came in and got rid of all management, right? I was not
Yeah.
protected by the union. Everybody below me was union. Everybody above me was political appointees. 150 of us got laid off in one day. From
Oh,
police
hey,
to
cannabis.
high cannabis, from the police department to bridges
Mhm.
to, I mean, every department, 150 mid managers got just
Yeah.
hoofed. We were gone. It didn't matter,
And this is what again, this is where it's so frustrating cuz sometimes you actually need some of those people.
right?
JJ JJ put Hody instead of howdy. That's cute. Accidentally hit the E instead of the W. I love it. You're calling basically calling cannabis a hoe. Love it. So I'm being silly today. Be patient with me. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna probably jump off of this. We've gone through quite a few of these. Some of these bills I can actually support. Some of them I'm like, you are out of your rabbit ass mind. And she's a Democrat.
Mm.
So again, don't get mad. Yeah, your ding thumbs. Yup. Um, yeah, I again read this. And like Art was saying earlier, they'll tell you, "Oh, you just hate these people, you hate that people, but don't know about the poison pill that was packed inside the act, which is why so many people voted against it."
Mm-hmm.
Cannabis. I can't read that out loud, but I'll leave it up here. Um, because that's an admission to guilt. Um, but let's take a look because we now know quite a bit about her, what she stands for. There's an article with a bit of a video. Let's play the video really quick. Oh, let me share this tab so you guys can actually see it. Um, and let's hope the audio comes through. Horse manure. Well, that sounds like fun.
Wait, Congresswoman Crockett.
But it sounds.
Congresswoman Crockett, you were recently on a Tesla takedown call calling for violence on the
She's
29.
ignoring
Would you
them.
like to clarify your comments?
As you can see.
Congresswoman, will you condone violence at the Tesla?
Wow. That was so polite and respectful and professional of her. An this independent journalist filed a police report against her.
Yes, he did.
Nice, good on them. I hope something happens from it. Um, she has now been accused of assault when she reached for and knocked his cell phone Tuesday afternoon. This was a while back. This was on March 27th. Yeah. Um,
She didn't like being questioned.
supporting.
Yeah, she didn't like
Why
the
she's supporting the anti-Tesla violence.
correct.
Mhm.
Well, she
She
called
didn't
for
like
it.
it.
She called for it.
Mhm. Mhm. So, yeah, she
She
seems like
wanted
a
that.
sweet person.
Yeah, I believe March 29th was her birthday. She called for violence on her birthday.
Yep. Yep. And then we have this Libs of TikTok post.
Right?
She's being investigated by the FEC over donations made to her campaign through the leftist fundraiser at organization Act Blue, which, by the way, if y'all remember, Elizabeth Warren and a couple other people had links to donate to the fires in North
Hmm.
not in California.
Yep.
And what did it do? It took you to Act Blue to donate to the political
Correct.
party.
Correct.
They hid that shit. More corrupt or more evidence reportedly shows that an individual donation to her campaign over 50 times without their knowledge, suggesting that the donations were being given under false names. Crockett received over 870,000 in total donations through Act Blue.
And here's the problem. She said she never did.
Well, they claim they have evidence. Entertaining. Very interesting. But I have a couple quick videos we can show too. And this never ceases to amaze me. The stupid shit these politicians can say. I've got this is a 16-minute video, and then we do have a 19-minute video. I don't know if we'll be able to get through it. It's basically a bunch of brothers reacting to her talking out her ass, but it's worth watching. So this is Scott Jennings tearing her ass apart in an interview on that one whatever
CNN.
show it is.
Yes, CNN with
Yep. So evidently he's supposed to be tearing her a new one.
yeah, with Abby Phillips.
Oh, hold on. Shit. Let me do this so you guys can actually see it. And I didn't get a chance to edit this one. I forgot to edit this one, so we're gonna do our best to skip past the stuff and break it up so we don't get in trouble.
Hope all's good wherever you are. In today's video, you're gonna get your daily dose, I guess, these days of Scott Jennings. He's been on fire. I have a few clips to share with you. In the second one, we're gonna watch them talk about the signals leak. But the first clip you're gonna watch, they discuss crazy ghetto Jasmine Crocket calling Governor Abbott of Texas Hot Wheels because he's in a wheelchair. Now, if you haven't seen that clip, I'm going to play it before Scott Jennings destroys this panel of low IQ
Oh,
Democrats.
one
Let's
second,
get it.
Crazy B.
Because
Hey,
we in these hot ass.
second.
Oh, I,
Hey,
I
Art,
barely heard you.
that's okay. Hey, Art, what kind of reference are you making to some old lady upstairs? I'm just curious. Like, is
Not
that,
you.
huh? I'm
Not
just,
you, I'm sure.
I want to verify who he's talking about. What old lady? That's all. Go
I,
ahead, Crazy B. Just checking.
Texas streets, honey. Um, y'all know we got Governor Hot Wheels down there. Come on now. And the only thing hot about him is that he is a hot ass mess, honey. So yes.
How the Democrats came to appoint
oops.
Jasmine Crocket as the unquestioned leader of your party.
Switch
But thank
Jasmine
God.
Crocket did.
And I think what she should do is go on
Talking out her
TV
ass.
twice as much as she is right now, maybe 3 times
Wait,
as
so I have a
much.
question. How come the Democrats
Because
are
every
asking
time she appears,
when they get money
Sorry.
from my taxes?
My son's getting a lot of advertisements to donate to the Democrats, and he's like, they get enough money from my taxes. Actually, you aren't paying in. Well, you're paying into Social Security and stuff, but you haven't made enough this past year to pay into them. So technically, until you work more hours. Anyways,
But like, they still get the money. Why don't they just use that? Why don't they fund their own darn stuff?
I don't know, hun. But that's what we're talking about,
Oh
basically.
yeah, and Christine Gilligard or whatever her name is, Gilligard,
Gillibrand?
Gilbrand.
Okay.
Yeah, she keeps showing up on my screen, asking me to sign some sort of petition. I'm sitting there like, no. You're a lawmaker.
Oh, Art responded. The woman, well, Theo, the one, I get it. Well, Theo, the one with the oxygen
Oxygen.
concentrator, room 6.
What?
Oh, that's so wrong,
What?
Art.
How's that English? I suppose it's like
I
robot.
mean, how does he even know about the oxygen concentrator, Crazy B?
Oh shit, that's right. You do have.
Mm-hmm. You know, this is starting to get personal. He
Oh
might.
my god, that's funny, Art. You don't even know about it, but that is
He's getting banned pretty soon. One more thing
no,
comes out.
he's not. It's
Yes,
too funny.
it's too
It's
funny.
too funny.
That's okay. Pick on it. Pick.
I'm sorry, the coincidence was too
Uh
great.
huh.
I didn't even catch it until you pointed it out, but
Uh-huh.
holy shit.
Yeah.
Art, you
Holy shit.
you
Yeah.
hit the nail on the head here, and you made it look more like D instead of not D.
Uh huh. Keep it up.
Oh shit.
There's gonna be some shit talk this morning again. I'll tell you that. Go ahead, Crazy
Oh
B.
my. Okay, let me hit play. My head's starting to hurt from coughing and
I
laughing so hard.
know.
Art,
See
I'll see
myself
myself out.
before he gets into any
Oh
more trouble. Oh,
no, I like Art's conversations and his
yes.
info. I love it.
Yes.
Um,
Speaking of which, if you have not, I have not seen the bot as usual go by for the Discord.
I
But
have on
okay,
actually just a few minutes ago on
okay,
Rumble it went through.
okay, cool.
It was
Just one,
just
yeah,
before cannabis jumped in.
yeah. I wanted to make a comment about the Discord. The Discord is open 24/7, so anybody that wants to come in and have a conversation, feel free. It's just not, 9 to 5. So it's
I'm
24.
gonna repaste the link for people.
Okay, cool.
But yeah. LOL, we love D. Yes, we do.
Thank you.
But it is funny. But you're
It
not in
is.
room 6.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm
no,
not in
you
room
need to get a
6,
plaque
not
for your
yet.
door that says room 6.
I know, I know. I'll talk to Eric about that and see if he can.
Get a picture of it
Uh,
and put it up.
hmm hmm That'd be funny as all
Okay.
hell.
4 down from me.
Oh God, too funny.
Oh my god. Uh, um, saw the bot 20 minutes ago. Yup. Um, oh my god. And you know what? You could put me right next door. I can be room 5 or 7.
With the nebulizer, with your nebulizer.
Yup. Oh my god. And the electric bed that I need to constantly adjust my position so I
Yeah,
don't get spasms.
I have
Um,
the electric bed too.
yep.
And I have the nebulizer. I just never put it up from when I came home from the nursing facility.
And you
But,
and then you're
and then I
breathing.
wonder
Yep.
why I can't breathe. That's because I don't use the oxygen concentrator either. So you wonder why.
Cannabis says please do.
I'm living on the edge.
We need to get an apartment complex with all of us crazy
Yeah.
people to live in. We're gonna start our own little community. We'll have a commune. There we go.
There you go.
Go buy a couple hundred acres.
As long as
Please
there's
don't
no,
paint the door green.
as long as long as we don't serve Kool-Aid, that might be okay.
Oh yeah, we'll avoid the Kool-Aid and the comet coming over to take us to the next plane.
Oh yeah, I forgot
Plane of
about that one.
existence.
Yeah, yeah. When you tell,
Okay, now D is giving more personal info. LOL.
there's not much I'm not willing to share, so I'm pretty much
Yeah,
open
I'm
book.
a severe asthmatic. I have to have my bed propped up when my congestion gets bad, even to take my nebulizers, stuff like that. And I know D goes through it too.
Yeah,
So, yep,
yeah. You want to know personal info? Your girl's been in a coma 4 times.
yep.
Yep. Most worst was 30
Oh,
days. Most recent
years
was
was just last year.
January 2023. 9 days.
Oh, 2 years ago.
Yeah, 2 years ago, 2023. That was probably the most serious one when they called Eric and said, "Get in here before she's dead."
Yep.
And that's
And I
when,
met you shortly after that.
yep, and that's when we met the angels and meant to have the 20-year plan. So,
Oh, there's the Rumble bot giving the info again
oh,
to the
you're kidding.
Discord.
just as
Why
we
it only
talk
gives the
about it.
Discord today is beyond me, but whatever. It's a glitch
Yeah,
in the
we'll
bot.
take it. I didn't see it. That's the first. I swear to God, that's the first time I've ever seen it come by.
Oh, no, I've seen a couple of the posts from the bots. I have them set for like every 10 to 20 minutes or so many lines.
Okay,
So we don't have to do it. But
great. Well, we might
all
have to
right, let's
do it
listen
more
to
frequently.
Jasmine Crocket get her butt chewed out.
Yeah.
Years and makes one of these mistakes, says something radical, it only further divides her party from the rest of the other 80% of America who can't stand this. But the problem is there's an audience for it. I heard Jimmy Kimmel's audience cheering on Tesla vandalism. I hear the Daily Show audience cheering on attacks on Elon Musk. I hear the human rights audience cheering on an attack on a man in a wheelchair. And I realize this is what the left has become, an angry mob of people who are cheering on attacks on a guy in a wheelchair and vandalism against people who bought a Tesla. It's pathetic. No lesson could ever be learned as long as you're doing these things in front of audiences who roar.
This, not only the people who bought a Tesla, but the ones who bought it for the environment. The ones who bought it because Biden pushed for electric vehicles.
Exactly. And didn't California
They're
say?
attacking their own.
Yeah. And didn't California say? Didn't Newsom say we had to go electric by such and such?
All electric.
Yeah.
Yep, by
You weren't
2030 or
yeah.
something like that.
Yeah. You weren't allowed to have gas engines. Yeah. So people
Yeah,
who
look at their
are
power grid too. That's really smart.
right. So all the Dems pushing for electric vehicles, buy a Tesla, and then they turn around and say destroy it. Okay.
Yeah, that makes perfect
Uh
sense.
huh.
All right, he left that part out, but it would have been an extra nail in that coffin.
That could have been a ploy because, as you said, they didn't have enough chargers to go around. So maybe that was a deliberate attempt. You know,
Might have been.
could have been a thing. You know, them Dems are sneaky like that. So they always have a
Hmm.
plan, something up their sleeve. Anyways.
Let's hit play. Yep.
When you do it, when you have comedians who are broad messengers for the left making
Scott,
unfair jokes and people are roaring, when you
Scott,
have politicians being vulgar and saying and they're roaring, what's the lesson? What's the audience? It says a lot about the audience.
First of all, have you met MAGA? Have you been to a MAGA rally where Trump is mocking a disabled journalist or a POW or saying we should?
Which did not happen. If you've actually watched them, that did not happen, but I'm sure he will either say that or do something stupid and not acknowledge it. But neither of those, he actually did not really make fun of a disabled reporter, but still. Continue.
We should punch him out. I mean, it is rich. And let me tell you, I have been very, very out there on criticizing Trump for that disgusting, disgusting rhetoric that has coarsened the language around politics. It's gross. He's why we got here. And what she did was disgusting. And I am not going to accept her spin of this. It's disgusting and gross to mock someone who is disabled just because you don't like them. And if Democrats, this is your idea, this is what your party is going to do now, is do.
I want to point out it's always the extremist. 90% of people in America are not going to make fun of a disabled person like that, except in my dark humor memes. Okay, I take that back. Not, I won't actually. I've worked with disabled people. I'm got 2 disabled kids. I'm not going to go and make fun of them like that, but you know,
Yes,
they're
you are.
really
Just stop. Yes,
overboard.
you
They're
are.
focusing on the
Yeah.
extremists, and the extremists are the ones who are the problem. Um, I just can't fathom why Musk couldn't see this blowback coming. He never met his buyers. That's an interesting one.
Mm-hmm.
But I honestly I think this will blow over soon. Because the next thing's gonna happen and they'll forget about it. I think it's gonna be
So,
blowing over soon.
yeah, the next thing's coming. Trust
Yep.
me. The next
And
thing's
this
coming.
again, I just hate the way they focus on the extremists instead of the sane people that are mostly middle. And I don't like being clumped in as a MAGA person because I'm not a big fan of Trump as a person. Is he the one to stir things up to get people into place? Yeah, wrecking ball style. But I'm not going to regret my vote no matter what. And yes, even our 401k took a small hit and many other things that have happened because of him. We're barely getting by and it's about to get worse with the tariffs. I get that, but I voted for it. I'll live with it. That's my choice.
Well, 'cause you
But
did
why are
so
they
well
always
under Biden.
focusing on the extremist?
'Cause you did so well under Biden.
I never even voted for that man. I was
I
smarter than
know. I'm
that.
just saying. I'm just being you know. But you don't think people's 401ks took a hit under Biden, or
Oh
get
yeah.
the prices of eggs and uh,
Well, I like what
inflation?
Cannabis said. In reality, there's no difference between far left and far right, just colors. Well, and animals. He added to add animals.
Hmm.
Yeah, there is no difference. They're all screaming about it. One wants one more government, one wants zero government, and I won't live in either situation. I like middle ground, just enough government to keep things smooth and keep the criminals at bay. Common sense stuff. That's what 99% of America, in my personal opinion, really falls under. It's the extremists that are out there making the rest of us look bad to the world. But anywho, I'm going to
But
stop
then,
my
but
tangent.
then, who are the people that are voting for these Jasmine Crocket types?
You got to wonder how many votes are legal. How many votes are legit?
Hmm.
I voted for Daffy Duck in the last two elections. I wasn't a fan of any of them. We need better people.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well,
Exactly.
and how many? And I've said that. I mean, out of all the people in the world, yeah, I got what I got out of my state. Oh, that was yeah. Uh-huh.
Well, okay. You're one senator. What's his face with the stroke? Um,
Yeah.
that dude. It surprised me a couple of times with things he
Oh,
said
yeah.
and
Well, every
supported.
every once in a while, it's because he had the stroke, and they still
Fetterman.
say he has a body double. Yeah, but
I don't know if it's a body double or the stroke did damage in
well,
the right spot to cause logic to come back.
yeah. I he's still a he's still a piece of work. And then there's it's just I mean, then they took Oz, who they ran up against him, and they pushed him through Congress. He's in charge of the Medicare program.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that.
I don't either, and that's what I'm
Because
saying.
I've
Out of
watched his
all the
show and he's given some shady medical advice on his show.
and I again, out of all the people that live in the damn state, they're the best that we had to offer. Are you kidding me? That's what
Look at all across the nation
I
who we
know.
got.
I know. That's what I'm saying. These
The
are the.
only one I can't complain about is my senator because it's Rand Paul.
Mhm.
He at least is on the same page as me. Cut back on the costs, cut back on the stupid shit, get the medical field under control. Back to the way it was. And his dad was Ron Paul. His dad's Ron Paul. I can't complain. But everyone else, I get why you guys are upset. Hell, I left Michigan because of the frickin' idiots up there
Mhm.
and many other things. We literally, middle of COVID, landlord decides to sell his house and we have nowhere to go. We spent a month in a frickin' motel room until we could move down here to be with family to get us started, until we could get a place to live. Absolutely insane. But let's hit play so we can get through this before we have to call it a day.
Trump, but gross, but worse, and then pretend it's not. I'm not here for this, and please do better. Please, this cannot be the answer for the future of the Democratic Party.
I mean, I think actions speak louder than words. And in this instance, I think we have a president who, when the plane crash happened in Washington, D.C., he blamed it on people with disabilities. When our
He didn't.
I can't stand it.
And honestly, we've looked. I've looked at the FAA requirements, and they were going to allow people to. And it didn't. It was said for air traffic controller with people with visual impairments are accepted. I looked at it. I got to remember where the hell it went. You know what? I'll ask someone I know, to pull it up if they can find it. I'm pretty sure I know who I can ask. I don't want to put names out because I don't want to get them in trouble. But I'll get that proof of the FAA thing. Well, actually, you know what? I'll cover that when I do the FAA and the air traffic controller situation in a couple weeks when that's all gathered. I'll cover it then. Trust me, it's what the f when you see what their requirements they're accepting are.
It
It's
is
not
called
okay.
the FAA. So what are you talking about?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the FAA, but for their placement for air traffic controllers.
I know. You're just. You know what? This is going over your head and under your feet. Just hit play. It's okay.
RFK says that autism is a threat to the American way of life, which is a disability. Apparently, the White House has ended ASA.
Okay, I have something to add. Autism is a threat to our way of life. Yes. Have you seen some of the severe cases of autism? I'm a mild case. What about the severe cases that are now every other, like every 10, 20 kids?
Well, I told you my daughter-in-law's niece is severely autistic.
How's she going to benefit society? How's she going to
She's
run things?
not
How's she going to hold a job?
can't. She's not. She's never going to be able to. She doesn't even speak.
So
And
autism
I,
is a risk to society.
and she's extremely violent. And she's 10 years old. So she's yet to hit her menstrual cycle to where she can become emotional. And what happens is she gets bigger and stronger.
Yep.
Who's going to control her? Her
I have a
grandmother.
6 foot, 145 pound autistic child who was nonverbal till he was almost 5.
Hmm.
And you should have seen the struggle I went through holding him down when he was small. Now that he's bigger than me, holy shit, we better pray he doesn't regress.
Right. So that's stuff that JFK is looking into. Not JFK, RFK is
RFK.
yeah, RFK. I corrected myself. Uh,
Oh, I didn't hear it. Sorry. It might be a slight lag or
yeah,
glitch.
RFK is looking into why this is occurring, why the numbers are so high. It's scary.
Yep.
I mean, we had
Art says,
go
oh,
ahead.
go ahead, finish your thought. I
No,
got it pulled up, so finish your thought.
no, it's gone. Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
You're good.
Art said, the only two I like are Dr. Bhattacharya and Dr. Macquarie. Most people have no idea who they are. I happen to know who they are, but I follow the medical field very closely. So,
Oh yeah, we know who they are, Art.
and now the rain is hitting and the high winds.
There you go. Be careful.
If I
Oh,
lose power, I apologize. And D, if I lose power, the end broadcast is at the top, and I'll come back and clean it up when we're done.
all right. We may go under, folks, and if so, I will see you probably on Friday. And good luck. So,
Oh, cannabis
there,
says
Crazy B.
correct, ladies. Who in the future will take care of these people as they get
That's
older?
that's the scary part is, what happens when her parents pass away, and where does she go? Who takes care of her? And she's so violent that I I have no idea what would
I
happen.
know.
I mean, I told you I've been in the room with her when she's come over to the house, and it's scary. I mean, they keep her highly medicated in order to control her. And what does that mean? As she gets older, she's going to be continually uh, medicated, and more and more drugs are going to be needed to keep her under control. That doesn't seem to be the answer.
It's one of those situations. And I think I kind of agree with Art on this. have we changed the diagnostic standard or reclassified some other conditions as autism? I'm not sold that it's more common. And that's something I've thought about too. Because again, I was initially diagnosed with Asperger's when I was 7 in 1990. As was well, it was a they said it wasn't actually they were looking for autism, but it wasn't I didn't fall in the classic autism. I fell into Asperger's, which wasn't as well known, especially where we lived. Middle of nowhere, Michigan, and I mean middle of nowhere. Um closest decent city was over an hour and a half away. So, back then I would trust my diagnosis more accurately than some of the ones today. My son was more of a classic autism. My daughter definitely falls in Asperger's. But there's people that I see who claim they're on the autism spectrum, and I'm like, I don't see it. I just see an ADHD person with mood swings and has never been taught how to cope or self control. I've seen people like that. And it's like a lot of the kids that may be nonverbal or low functioning now with therapy, they can end up like my son can hold a decent job. He can some you hear him communicate. Before people never understood his speech. At least now people can understand what he's saying, and he's capable of so much. I mean, hell, the kid had held really good grades in high school. It's just like I get frustrated when they automatically assume autism means they can't benefit society. There are degrees of autism that can, but I don't think every kid being diagnosed with autism is like your daughter-in-law's niece.
Right.
I
That
think that is
right.
still rare.
Right.
Just a lot of people, and I think she could have had benefited from a major
Oh, I
therapy.
agree. Her parents, yeah, that's another. We've talked about that. I think if they would have done better therapy and probably would have put better controls on uh,
Hmm.
coping skills and that may have been beneficial. But who's to say? You know, she's not my child, and I
Yeah,
can.
but I chose to put my kids in therapy and
Right.
go through the stress,
Right.
blood, sweat, tears of trying to
Right.
make it better. I mean,
Right.
I was literally at the point of getting ready to learn American Sign Language and teaching my son so we could at least communicate.
Right.
I was at the point where I didn't think he was ever going to talk. And we got through it with speech therapy, occupational therapy for the eye hand coordination, fine
Mhm.
motor skills. It's a lot, and I still have to fill out paperwork for him, and then he signs it because his handwriting is atrocious, but that's just part of it. So, I don't know how bad it really is, and again, just because it's diagnosed as autism spectrum disorder doesn't mean it's a severe case. I think we should know how many severe cases there are. But let's continue because I keep going on tangents and I need to shut the hell up.
ASL, American Sign Language interpreters and briefings, which is making it inaccessible. Questioning and gutting Social Security, which a lot of disabled people rely on, Medicaid.
Nobody in Social Security with an honest disability has lost their benefits. Let's continue. Unless you want to add ND.
No, Crazy B, I just got a message. Uh,
Okay.
hold on. Yeah, about it's bad for my brother-in-law.
I am so sorry. Do you
It's
need
okay.
to dip?
No, it's okay. I told you I expected it to be this week, so I just pray it's over and done with. He's in such bad shape, but it's okay.
Yeah. Art says his handwriting analysis indicates I'm a doctor. I have a story, but it's not the time. But I've met a doctor who did not fall into that stereotype. But let's get through this video.
Medicare people rely on. And in his first campaign, mocking disability. Two wrongs don't make a right, but actions speak louder than words. And the policies of the Republican, including undermining special education ID, the Individuals with Disability and Education Act, making sure that schools are not going to be accessible. Those are the actions of this
That
administration.
is
Those are the
not what
actions of the Republican
happened.
Right.
Party. I would
You know,
rather
out of this
folks
whole thing,
be
Crazy B,
demonizing those.
this is really starting to irritate the hell out of me. Because here we go back to what somebody else did. I'm looking at you to be responsible for what you did, what she did. Not compare
Mm-hmm.
her to what Trump did, because if we're going to play the what is game, right? What about all the crap that Biden said about people, Kamala said about people? Um, who else? When we go hot, what Clinton said. All do we want to start playing tit for tat here?
No,
Why can't they just have the discussion of what she said and what she did was wrong?
they
Why?
bashed Trump enough. Why are they rehashing it again?
Exactly. We've been through this before. We know you don't like him. We know that you have, whatever against him. He has said what he said. He has acted the way he has acted. Either you like him or you don't. I just pray he keeps his mouth shut at times. You know what I mean? I am not I am not firmly in his corner, but I back his policies. That's what the American people wanted. They're sitting here going, oh, he wants to cut this, he wants to do that. This is all about what Crockett did. Why? Why are we,
Yep.
why? Where's the accountability? Where's the responsibility? This should be all about her and the police report that was filed against her. And should she be censured in Congress? Should she be removed for her actions because she can't control herself? Why are we doing all of this? It's crazy.
It is. And cannabis, I just sent you a link. You were asking what the DSM-5 says. I just sent it to you. I'll cover that in a different episode. Probably on questions that need answers. I will cover that at probably after I do the finish the child execution thing. I will keep that up, and I will also go with the um HIPAA, not the HIPAA, the HIC picks and the other one. Yeah. The codes. I used to do coding and it totally slipped my mind. I used to have the frickin' books. Okay. Yep. I used to do coding, so I have the books. Let me come back up here and close this and hit play. And I'll cover that on a questions that need answers thing.
Things, then.
But to be
going back-
clear, you don't agree with what she said, right?
Well, her explanation was that she wasn't referring to that policy. If she
So
was,
you buy that?
but here's the thing.
IDC. Thank you.
If you make fun of
No,
somebody
ICD.
because of their
ICD.
disability, I do not agree with that. As a person with a disability, as a person who has family members with a disability, as a person who has taught children with a disability, that is not acceptable. She said that's not what she was doing, and so I know Jasmine, and I believe Jasmine if that's what she was saying.
Well, I don't know her yet, and so here's how I see it. She's new.
Mm-hmm.
She's young, and she's trying to find her way.
She's young.
I think that this party is scrambling.
Oh, God, help me.
I was just gonna say she ain't young. She's a couple years older than
young
me.
at 44.
She ain't young.
And what, she turns 50 and then she's got it? Okay. That's cool.
No. She
Okay.
should have been taught better shit than this back 20
Exactly.
years ago. But I agree.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
Trying to seem tough, and I'm seeing this party traffic in a lot of curse words. That's supposed to be like the new cool thing to do. I don't think that's going to be as useful. I've even heard Pete Buttigieg with a whole bunch of curse words. I don't know who gave that memo. I don't think that's very useful. I think you have to be very careful when you're talking about people with disabilities. And I don't think she was careful. And I don't know her enough to say she's not being honest. I'm going to tell you, it sounded bad. And I just want to finish. I think this party is trying to find a way to look tough and to show fight. But this is not the way. I don't think the cursing is going to work. I think I've been on stage and I've gotten a little bit hyped sometimes too. I hope that she will take. Let's talk about learning lessons, that type of stuff. It doesn't sound to me like she's actually taking full responsibility. If that's true, I don't like it, and she can't do that again. She's too important to us to do that again.
What I fear is that no lesson could ever be learned as long as you're doing these things in front of audiences who roar when you do it. When you have comedians who are broad messengers for the left making...
But Scott...
And you have politicians being vulgar and saying it in their voice. What's the lesson?
We're trying...
What's the audience? It says a lot about the audience.
But no, what we're trying to deal with is that Trump has done this and he's been successful.
Yeah.
So when you have somebody who does this stuff and they're successful, you start thinking, well, is that the right way? I would like for us to say it's not, but I think it's hard for us on it when your guy does it all the time.
He does what all the time?
Too important to make these kinds of mistakes. I think she has a...
Go ahead.
I said he does what all the time?
Well, they claim Trump makes fun of disabled people all the time and all this stuff.
I want to... When? Oh, gosh, please. Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's... Okay. I mean, these comments that are permitted to be made, he does it all the time. Where's the facts? Show me. Come on, show me. You know, we're pulling stuff up crazy, B. You know what I mean? Of actual things that are occurring.
Yeah.
You know, articles, videos. I don't know. And, you know, to get away with these random, all-encompassing comments made all the time, it's getting old. It really is.
I actually, you know, Art's pretty much here too. As a disabled guy, I don't really care about the comments like Hot Wheels, but I expect better of elected officials. Yeah. And I might hit you up about putting a motor in my wheelchair.
Yeah. Well, the other thing too that I have is some pieces, not only politicians, but you know what really else is getting on my nerves is Hollywood and their comments that are made. You know, people that we have in positions or powers of authority over, you know, us regular folk that you know, get to make statements or have platforms that we don't, that gets to stand you know, before thousands of people and make, you know, comments, snide remarks that get the snickers and the laughter and all of that. You know, we need to go back to where there's right or wrong and people know what it is. They know what's right and they know what's wrong and what statements are right or wrong. It's getting to be very, very frustrating. And to see, you know, the people in Congress, they should know better and we should expect better from them. The problem is, I don't understand how these people get elected. I really don't.
I don't either. And that's what's scary, is who's voting for these people other than people who are like-minded.
Right.
And there's no way there's that many like-minded people.
Correct. That's what I believe. There can't possibly be that many.
Maybe not be okay. Let's take it back from like-minded and say emotional voters. They're voting based on their emotions.
I wouldn't
because this person said something nice about the group I'm in, but that person, they keep pointing out how mean he is about it without doing the research.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that statement.
Let's hit play, see what goes from here because we have less than 15 minutes. So let's try to get as far as we can. We can always pick this up again on Thursday and Friday.
A bright future. I hope that tonight she's looking and says, you know what, I don't have to do that kind of stuff to get an applause line. She's too important for us to make those kind of
Jasmine Crocket is a fake and a phony anyway. She tries to play this hood congresswoman, and I don't know why. She's actually well educated. She's from a decent family. I want her to keep going with these insults and this craziness. I want her and AOC to keep going with it. All the heads of the Democratic Party, go ahead, keep going with the nonsense. And in 4 years, when we have a debate and election, you won't be around. The average American, look, the same people that are wiping their butts on Teslas and spray painting Teslas that, for the most part, are owned by other left leaning people. That's generally who used to buy Teslas. But I want her to keep just gonna bury herself. When the election comes in 4 years and she has to debate, say, I don't know, JD Vance, the average American who votes on the economy and the safety of the country is not going to vote for that nonsense. So keep going, Democrats, and you're going to be on the wrong side of these issues every time. Now let's get to the part where they talk about the signals leak. Also, if you don't mind smashing that thumbs up button for your boy, that goes a long way to help me out. If this is not your first time here and you're not yet subscribed,
Can't we
What
start?
did we learn? High-ranking officials having a thoughtful policy discussion, well executing a military plan to take out people who need to be taken out.
Thing.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that was done with Jasmine, and that went into Signalgate.
Yep. I think that's where that ended.
Okay.
Yes.
So we're actually ahead of the game.
Yes, we are for a minute.
Yeah, woohoo. Yeah, for a minute, for a hot minute.
Do I have any other short videos of her that we could pull up?
There should be one.
I know I had a couple. I got to dig in.
Yeah, there's one hold on a second. There's one I'm thinking about of her. I had it a second ago. I didn't think we were going to finish up so soon.
Oh, I have a 48-second one of her on Charlemagne the God's podcast, the breakfast thing or whatever.
Right, the breakfast, yeah.
Where she's talking out her rear end again, which we all love ever so much. Because, but you should see the list of videos I have in here. It is extensive. Where is it? There it is. Okay. I have probably 40 videos, 50 videos lined up for this. Not just of her, of other people. And Art said they get the majority of votes from the people who vote, which means they get elected by 10 to 15% of their constituents. That's another thing. People need to get out and vote, but there's some people who think voting does no good.
Right. We realize that, but what's that say about their constituents is my question.
Mm-hmm.
That's my point. You mean out of that 10 to 15% were... Just shut up.
Well, again, she's also in a major city, and most major cities are Democratic. So, yeah, 10 to 15% of the idiots that are bleeding heart liberals are going to do that. So, let's listen to this where she talks out her butt some more. Oh, shit. I forgot to hit transition so you guys could see it. Sorry. Now you guys can see and hear.
And if we continue to put people into office, and that even means some of our skinfolk who definitely are not our kinfolk, such as Byron Donalds, who are going to continue to say that, the fact that you sitting around talking about life was better under Jim Crow, is this because you don't understand history? Or literally it's because you married a white woman and so you think that whitewashed you? I'm not really sure, what it is.
Okay. Oprah Winfrey.
Oh.
Who's Oprah Winfrey married to? Anyone remember?
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Amber Alert or Storm Alert?
Storm Alert. I have never gotten one of them. Holy hell. Destructive. Oh my, 80-mile-an-hour winds.
Okay, let's get through this video and call it a day.
Oh shit. I gotta call up the house. Go ahead.
Is,
well,
but
you
I
couldn't
need
even be married to a white woman under Jim
correct,
Crow.
Correct. And it took Joy to call him out. So I'm like, bruh, what are you talking about? What are you saying? He just out here, I feel like they give him his talking points and he's like, yes, massa, I got it.
Yeah, no. I don't. Why would she go and say some shit like that unnecessarily? It makes no sense. It makes no sense for her to sit there and hate on people for falling in love with a white person or a person of their other race. How would she know anything about Jim Crow? Seriously. Oh, other than the one-sided textbooks. Um, she doesn't. The one-sided textbooks are all there is.
And Oprah
And
Winfrey isn't married.
yes, she was.
She was? You mean
She was married to a white man.
she
And
was?
she still might be.
Well, she was dating what's his face, and then they claim she's a hookup with Gail King. So I don't know if that's true or not. But she never married
Um,
what's his face.
Stead Graham. Stead
Yeah, Stedman.
Graham was
She
his
never married
name.
him.
You're right. They didn't partner since '86. They're
Yeah,
still together.
yeah, yeah.
So she should
Because
still be mad about that. But
well,
dude is tall. He is six foot
yeah,
seven.
he's African
Shit.
American though. He's African American. He's not white.
Oh wait.
Yeah.
Why does he look so white? He looks white in this pictures. In some of these pictures.
Oh, I'm just saying. I knew my Oprah at the time. Yeah,
Okay, my bad.
he she
My bad.
he's supposed to
I'm
be a
corrected.
he's supposed to be a front for her because her and Gail King are something 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 something.
Okay. All right then. My bad. Um, my bad. But she'd really hate my cousin who's married to a black woman, and has been for over 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
They've been together almost 30 years. They got married in their late 20s. This is what I mean. My family is extremely diverse. I have cousins that are all kinds of races. My own history. I don't like the way she did that. I don't like the way she did that. I really don't like the way she did that. And my bad about Oprah Winfrey. I really thought that
Sure.
was a different
Yeah,
story.
they're cool.
Oh,
I
well,
had
I
been
learned.
looking.
I learned
Yeah,
something new. Woohoo!
I had been looking for Jasmine Crocket things because I knew we had some shorter pieces on her till that alert came through.
Yeah,
And do
and
you
we
know?
will get to those
Yeah,
later, but right
right,
now you need to batten down the hatches. I need to as
yeah.
well.
Yeah, the last
And
time that we had those bad storms, remember, it took out half of Jacob's room. So, but
yep,
we cut those trees down. So I just called up there. They're all worried again. I'm like, what do come down here and stay. I don't know what to tell you. We have
yep,
180-foot trees. What do you want me to do? I'm not chopping every single one down.
yeah.
So
Within
what should I tell them
180
to do? Dig a
foot
hole in?
radius of the house.
Yeah, should I tell them to, well, they don't have a bathtub, they have a shower. Should I tell them to dig a hole and go crawl in it?
Storm cellar is not a bad thing to have.
I know.
The
It'll
owner
be
of a
all right.
shop I ran was black MIT engineer. I wish people could get over it. Yeah. My stepdad, black, his cousin, a former NBA player. Um, yeah, I'm I loved his mom. I loved my stepdad's mom. She was awesome. His brother, who had a brain problem, they had to put a shunt in because there was swelling in the brain. I believe it was hydrocephalic. Back when he was younger, and he was in his 40s and needed people to care for him. So I'd had to shower him and help him out in the bathroom and stuff because the way it damaged his brain. He was more like a 8-year old, 7 to 8 year old, instead of a 40-year old. Really great guy. Um, I'm telling you, I have family all over. I have a stepsister out in Chicago who's Jehovah's Witness, but I absolutely can get along with her and talk to her. She's not a problem. So I'm telling you, when I say this, them pitting race as an excuse for why their agendas aren't going through is BS.
Well,
For
the biggest thing that's going to come up next is the race issue with the stabbing
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh,
that
I've got a lot of videos and
yeah,
headlines that a friend of mine on, X put
yeah.
together. It's a short video of a bunch of headlines asking, "Is it okay to, end white people now? When do we get to start ending white people?" Stuff like that. I've
Well,
got that lined up.
yeah, that's gonna be that's what they're pitting. That's gonna be the next big thing is the race
Yep.
issue against that.
Yep.
Unfortunately, it's a damn
So,
shame.
it is. It's
Uh,
revenge racism.
It is.
Literally, I just call it revenge racism. They're trying to get even for something that happened to somebody else years ago,
Mm.
and what? I never did anything. As far as I know, my parents never did anything.
Well, I told you back in when I was working on
I
my
Yeah.
my masters what the state of the country was going to look like by 2030, and it's actually moved way quicker than they anticipated. And yeah, we're going to be in for a little bit of a situation, I would say.
Hold
But
on.
yeah,
Oh, go ahead. Finish your thought while I'm
no, go
reading this.
ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
JJ says our youngest has the same hydrocephalus at birth, brain bleeds on both hemispheres, had a replacement from 2 months to 18 years so far. To 18 years so far. Yep, I actually know what you go through. I was 16, 7. I was between 15 and 17. Bounced back and forth between my parents, and I would help my mom when I was staying with her. Yep. It is, but I met someone who had hydrocephalus and turned out just fine, never needed a shunt other than to initially get the fluid out. Didn't have it lifelong though. So, it's so weird what the human body does.
Mm-hmm.
And that would be another great questions that need answers because I know someone whose back half of their brain was crushed and ended up dying, and they're still a functioning adult without the back half of their brain.
Wow.
So that's an interesting story. That would be a great thing, like a little sub category for questions that need answers is medical miracles.
Right.
Because technically, I'm one. I could give my birth story. Shit, I shouldn't be here. I was almost born without lungs. So
Hey,
that's
hon.
another interesting one.
All right. The
But
boss is
we
home,
do got
so
to get
I'll
out of
let
here.
that out. Yeah.
Yep. So I'm going to end
Uh
this.
oh. Did you hear that?
No, your sound suppression,
I said,
background noise suppression,
yeah,
kept it
I
out.
said the boss is home. He goes, it's about time you got that right.
Oh, jeez.
Uh huh.
We're ending just in time. He can get
Yep.
over it. We still
Yeah.
love him.
Yeah. They said they still love you. All right, babe. I'll catch you tomorrow. All right.
All right.
Have a
You have that
good,
appointment
yeah.
tomorrow.
Yeah, that's right. So have a good 2 days, and I'll see you on Friday. And
Oh,
and
Art says stay safe.
yeah, thank you guys. Hopefully we don't get blown away like the Wizard of Oz. But I'll see everybody on Friday unless something changes. So, but I'll talk to you tomorrow, Crazy B.
All right. I'll catch you later. And everyone can see me on questions that need answers tomorrow and gaming in the morning-ish time, early afternoon, whatever. I'll be in for that, but I will end this now and we will tell you guys, I'll tell you, stay safe, stay sane, stay sober. You know, my usual one. We got to get you an outro, D. We got to
Yeah,
get you
we'll get
a
one.
saying.
Mm-hmm.
All right. In the
Yep.
meantime, peace
Oh,
out. We'll see y'all
good,
tomorrow.
everybody. Bye.